When you effortlessly navigate your favorite app or feel drawn to click a particular button, you're experiencing the invisible power of psychology in design. Good design isn't just about making things look pretty, it's about understanding how the human mind works. Every time you interact with a design, your brain is working behind the scenes, perceiving patterns, processing information, and forming emotional responses. Understanding these mental processes is the key to creating designs that truly connect with people. One of the most important concepts in design psychology is cognitive load theory. This explains how much mental effort our brains can handle at once. When designs are cluttered or confusing, they overwhelm our cognitive capacity, making them difficult and frustrating to use. Design also triggers powerful emotional responses. Colors, shapes, and layouts don't just convey information, they make us feel things. A warm color palette might make us feel welcomed and energetic, while cool colors can create a sense of calm and trust. Another crucial aspect is understanding user expectations and mental models. People approach designs with preconceived notions about how things should work based on their past experiences. When designs align with these expectations, they feel intuitive and natural. When designers understand these psychological principles, they can create experiences that feel effortless and engaging. Users don't have to think about how to use the interface. They can focus on accomplishing their goals. This is the power of psychology-driven design. From reducing cognitive load to triggering the right emotions, from meeting user expectations to providing clear feedback, every design decision can be informed by psychological insights. This foundation helps create designs that don't just look good, but actually work well for the people who use them. Our brains are pattern-seeking machines, constantly trying to make sense of the visual world around us. Gestalt principles explain how we naturally group and organize visual elements, forming the foundation of intuitive design. The principle of proximity states that elements placed close together are perceived as belonging to the same group. This simple concept is incredibly powerful in design, helping users understand relationships between different pieces of information. The similarity principle shows that elements sharing visual characteristics like color, shape, or size are grouped together mentally. Designers use this to create visual connections across different areas of their layouts. Closure is perhaps the most fascinating Gestalt principle. Our minds automatically fill in missing information to perceive complete shapes and forms. This allows designers to create engaging visuals that invite user participation and interpretation. While Gestalt principles help us understand how elements are grouped, visual hierarchy determines the order in which users process information. It guides the eye through a design, ensuring the most important elements are seen first. In web design, visual hierarchy is created through size, color, spacing, and positioning. Notice how this wireframe uses different sized elements to establish a clear reading order, with the most important content prominently displayed at the top. Typography is a perfect example of visual hierarchy in action. Different font sizes, weights, and colors create a clear reading path. Your eye naturally follows from the largest, most prominent text down to the supporting details. Size relationships are crucial for effective hierarchy. Elements of similar importance should have similar sizes, while primary elements should clearly dominate secondary ones. This creates visual balance and prevents confusion. These principles come together in interface design. Notice how these buttons use similarity in shape and size to show they're related, while color and styling create hierarchy. The most important actions stand out through contrast and visual weight. By understanding how our brains naturally process visual information, designers can create interfaces that feel effortless to use. These psychological principles transform complex information into clear, actionable designs that guide users exactly where they need to go. Colors are far more than just visual elements. They are powerful psychological triggers that can instantly influence our emotions, decisions, and behaviors. Every color carries its own emotional weight and cultural significance. The emotion wheel reveals the intricate relationship between colors and feelings. Each color segment corresponds to specific emotional states, from the warmth of red representing passion and energy to the coolness of blue evoking calm and trust. Healthcare environments demonstrate color psychology in action. This hospital room uses calming blues and soft greens strategically. These colors have been scientifically proven to reduce patient anxiety, lower blood pressure, and promote healing, transforming a potentially stressful medical environment into a more comforting space. In contrast, marketing campaigns harness the energizing power of vibrant yellows and warm colors. This yellow palette creates excitement, optimism, and urgency, perfect for grabbing attention and motivating action. The same color that would be overwhelming in a hospital becomes a powerful tool for engagement in advertising. Emotional design goes beyond basic functionality to create meaningful connections with users. It's about understanding that people don't just use products, they experience them. By strategically incorporating colors, shapes, and interactions that evoke positive emotions, designers can create products that users genuinely enjoy and remember. The ultimate goal of color psychology and emotional design is creating products that not only work well, but feel good to use. When users have positive emotional experiences, they're more likely to engage, return, and recommend the product to others. This transforms functional design into memorable, impactful experiences that drive real business results. Imagine standing in a grocery store cereal aisle with over 300 different options. How long does it take you to choose? This overwhelming feeling has a scientific explanation called Hick's law. Hick's law demonstrates that decision time increases logarithmically with the number of available choices. The more options you present to users, the longer they take to decide, and the more likely they are to abandon the decision altogether. Let's see this in action. Here's a complex restaurant menu with dozens of options versus a simplified menu with just a few carefully curated choices. Which would you choose from faster? This brings us to cognitive load theory, which explains how our brains process information. Our working memory has limited capacity. When we overload it with too many choices or complex information, performance suffers dramatically. This model shows how information flows from our environment through attention to working memory and then potentially to long-term memory. The key bottleneck is working memory. It can only handle about 7 pieces of information at once. Now let's look at the perfect example of applying both Hick's law and cognitive load theory, Google's homepage. Notice how incredibly simple and clean it is, just a search box and a few essential elements. Google's design minimizes cognitive load by presenting only what users need, one primary action, search. There are no distracting advertisements, complex menus, or overwhelming choices. This allows users to focus entirely on their main task. The result? Google processes over 8.5 billion searches per day. By respecting how human cognition works, limiting choices, and reducing cognitive load, they created the most successful search engine in history. These principles apply everywhere in design. Whether you're creating a website, mobile app, or physical product, remember, fewer choices lead to faster decisions, and less cognitive load leads to better user experiences. Imagine approaching a door. Your brain instantly processes visual cues that tell you exactly how to interact with it. This automatic understanding is the result of 3 fundamental design principles working together. The handle suggests you should pull or turn it. The card reader indicates you need authorization. The stop gesture warns you to wait. Each element communicates its purpose through design. Affordances are the perceived possibilities for action that an object provides. They answer the question, what can I do with this? A well-designed affordance makes the intended use immediately obvious. Consider these common affordances. A raised button begs to be pressed, a handle suggests pulling, and a text field invites typing. The physical appearance communicates the intended interaction. Signifiers are visual cues that communicate where actions should take place. They guide users by pointing, highlighting, or indicating the next step. Think of them as helpful hints embedded in the design. Arrows point the way forward. Highlighted buttons draw attention to primary actions. Icons provide instant recognition. Color changes signal interactive elements. Each signifier reduces the mental effort needed to understand the interface. Constraints limit possible actions to prevent errors and guide users toward success. They create boundaries that make interfaces more predictable and less prone to mistakes. Here's a perfect example: an accessibility door button. The constraint is clear. You must press the button to open the door. This removes ambiguity about how to operate the door and ensures everyone can access it successfully. Let's see how these three principles work together in a well-designed form. The input fields afford typing, labels signify what information goes where, and validation constraints prevent incorrect data entry. The text fields clearly afford typing. The labels signify what information belongs in each field. The required field constraints ensure users provide necessary information. Together, they create an intuitive, error-resistant interface. When affordances, signifiers, and constraints work in harmony, users can navigate interfaces effortlessly. They know what they can do, where to do it, and what limitations exist. This is the foundation of intuitive design. The design world is experiencing a revolutionary transformation. Artificial intelligence and emotional understanding are reshaping how we create user experiences, leading to more personalized and psychologically informed design decisions. Artificial intelligence has become the backbone of modern design analysis. AI systems now process vast amounts of user interaction data, identifying patterns in how people navigate interfaces, where they click, and how long they spend on different elements. Modern design has shifted from purely aesthetic considerations to deep emotional understanding. Designers now conduct extensive user interviews, deploy emotional surveys, and perform detailed usability testing to understand not just what users do, but how they feel while doing it. Science-led design represents a paradigm shift where complex data sets from multiple sectors inform design decisions. This approach integrates research from psychology, neuroscience, environmental studies, and user behavior analytics to create evidence-based design solutions. Neuroarchitecture represents the cutting edge of design psychology. This emerging field applies neuroscience research directly to building design, creating spaces that actively promote productivity, reduce stress, and enhance human well-being through scientifically informed architectural choices. These developments represent more than technological advancement. They signal a fundamental shift toward human-centered design that prioritizes psychological well-being alongside functionality. The future of design lies in this intersection of technology, psychology, and human emotion. Modern design is evolving beyond aesthetics and functionality. Today's designers are embracing three transformative trends that are reshaping how we create and interact with digital and physical spaces. First, sustainability and circular design. The design world is experiencing a fundamental shift towards environmental responsibility. Brands are no longer just talking about being green, they're redesigning their entire approach to create circular economies. Companies are demonstrating their eco-credentials through tangible design choices. Packaging uses biodegradable materials, digital interfaces reduce energy consumption, and product life cycles are extended through modular, repairable designs. The second major trend is inclusivity and accessibility. Design is no longer created for an imaginary average user. Instead, designers are embracing the full spectrum of human diversity, creating experiences that work for everyone. Inclusive design goes beyond accessibility compliance. It's about representing diverse communities in marketing, creating interfaces that work across cultures, and ensuring that technology serves everyone, not just the privileged few. The third trend is personalization, powered by artificial intelligence and data analytics. Modern design systems can adapt in real time, creating unique experiences for each user based on their behavior, preferences, and context. This isn't just about showing different ads to different people. AI-driven personalization creates entirely different user journeys, adapts interface layouts based on usage patterns, and even modifies color schemes and typography to match individual preferences and accessibility needs. These three trends are not separate movements. They're interconnected forces reshaping design. Sustainable practices inform inclusive design choices, while personalization ensures that eco-friendly and accessible solutions actually meet individual user needs. Together, they represent design's evolution towards social responsibility and human-centered innovation. When children need MRI scans, the experience can be terrifying. The loud, enclosed machines often cause panic and anxiety, making medical procedures traumatic for young patients. GE Healthcare revolutionized this experience with their Adventure series. They transformed sterile MRI machines into magical adventures, turning scanners into pirate ships, spaceships, and underwater worlds. Airbnb transformed the travel industry by focusing on high-quality visuals and empathetic user understanding. They realized that booking accommodation is deeply emotional. People aren't just renting rooms, they're choosing experiences and creating memories. Netflix revolutionized entertainment through personalized user experiences. By analyzing viewing patterns, preferences, and behavior, they create individualized interfaces that feel tailor-made for each user. The return on investment for good user experience design is remarkable. Every dollar invested in UX can bring $100 in return. Good user interface design can increase conversion rates by up to 200%. Good user experience design can double conversion improvements to 400%. These statistics demonstrate the tangible business value of psychology-driven design decisions. Understanding the difference between user experience and user interface design is crucial. UX focuses on the overall journey and emotions, while UI handles the visual and interactive elements. Psychology-driven design creates effective conversion funnels that guide users naturally through their journey. By understanding human behavior and decision-making processes, designers can create experiences that feel intuitive and drive meaningful business results.